Hello everyone, in this video I am going to explain you about my recent cookbook project that I have developed using the Angular and where I am using the advanced concepts of Angular. As you can see here, I have developed the responsive UI with the sidebars. You can see here the UI is also looking good. I will explain you how I developed using this in Angular. Let me open the statistics also for you where I am using charts to display the statistics of the recipes and data in a good looking format like using charts. And hello everyone, in this video I am going to showcase a few features that I have implemented in my Angular recipe project. First, I have organized the project with a proper Angular best practices, separate modules, pages, shared components, helps to maintain a scalable folder structure. As you can see here, I have implemented many folders for each and every functionality. Inside shared, we can use the shareable components and their pipes, sidebars, directives, etc. Inside this services folder, we do have multiple services files where each services file handles the multiple network API calls so that we can easily communicate with our backend, so that we can easily fetch data from the backend database through the backend APIs, and even we can save the data through the APIs into our database, so that by using these external API calls we can easily communicate with our backend database. Even we can make an external API calls to get other data. Next, I implemented the routing with both add and edit modes. When I open the recipe form in edit mode, the application automatically loads the recipe data based on the ID from the URL. By using these routes, we can easily navigate from one page to another page smoothly. So these routings are very useful to navigate from one page to another page. And I have also used the reactive forms to build the forms in the Angular. The entire form is built using Angular reactive forms. I used multiple form controllers, form group, and also form array for adding a dynamic ingredients. I can add and remove ingredients fields dynamically, and this is done using this form array. Here you can see here I am using ngIf controllers to display the data which is needed for the user, so that based on the certain conditions the data will be displayed in the UI. For that I use ngIf and to iterate through the array I used ngFor as well. Now let me open the UI how the forms are looking. You can see here we are displaying list of all recipes, and let me add a new recipe. You can see here there are the form which I am asking for the recipe details like recipe title, category, cooking time, difficulty level, preparation time, images, descriptions, ingredients, etc. etc. In the name field, I also added custom validation to block certain words. For example, if I type something invalid, immediately the validation triggers. So I implemented the custom validations, required validations, and minimum length validation. Let me try to type something biryani. As you can see here, the recipe title must be at least 3 characters. For error messages, I used simple ngIf condition, so the UI shows only the message the user needs to see. You can see here I have implemented the ngIf. You can see here the title must be at least 3 characters. Please avoid using inappropriate words like that. the title is required based on the conditions and if conditions. So the UI shows only the message that user needs to see. I also included the Angular material component for the UI, material input buttons, cards, icons, layouts, elements to make the design clean and responsive. As you can see here, I will the UI is so responsive as you can see in the video. Let me change a picture. You can see the UI. I will show you how the recipe data is saving by debugging through the code. Let me give the proper title names and categories values correctly. I want to save biryani as a recipe and it's non-vegetarian and the cooking time almost 1 hour. And it's odd and preparation time will be say example in minutes 55 minutes and the image that let me get it from the online. I don't have any. As you can see here we got the biryani images as well and its preview in the description. And it is asking us to add ingredients like we can add rice and the main ingredient is chicken, masala. There are so many ingredients are there but I don't know what are those ingredients. Okay, let me try to save this recipe with these three ingredients. I have added a debugger point in onSubmit function. Whenever we try to save this recipe function, a debugger will trigger automatically and there we can see whether the data which we are trying to save is coming correctly or not. Click on publish recipe. You can see here a debugger is enabled and here we can see all our data, form controllers, errors. You can see here there is a form values, name, category, time, difficulty, preparation time, all the data that we are submitting we are getting inside this on submit function so that we can easily save that data in our database using external API calls. Here also we are checking whether it is a editing mode or a new recipe is adding or not. If it is editing mode, it will just update the data. If it is a new recipe, then it will come into the else condition so that we can save the data. So that we can save data in our DB. You can see here the debugger come inside the else conditions because it is a new recipe that we are going to add. And you can see here I am using the services classes where I am adding this where I am handling all the logic to save the recipes data. And you can see here what are the values that I am passing as well. Come out of from the debugger and you can see here there is a new dish is added, biryani under non-veg. Let me show you whether the filtering is correctly working or not. You can see here there are two dishes are there under non-veg category. One is grilled chicken and another is biryani. Even we can edit these recipes as well. Let me try to edit. As you can see here there is an edit option that I have provided, so we can edit the recipe. See, automatically the data is loaded when we try to edit. with its existing values so that we can edit this data. Let me add a new ingredient that I got to know that is biryani leaf. Even we can delete the previous ingredients as well. Let me delete masala for testing. You can see the ingredients is also deleting. And you can see here we have already added a debugger point on submit. So when we click on update recipe, the debugger will be enabled before saving the data. You can see here, as I told you, the debugger is also enabled. Now instead of going inside the else block, we will go inside if blocks, because the data is already exists and the recipe is in editing mode. You can see here, as I told, the debugger goes inside the if conditions and the data is also changed. On the same way, we are making a call to update recipe function that is exist in the recipe services, so that there we are handling all the data. Now you can see here the biryani is edited. Let me view the recipe. You can see here before there is a masala ingredients is there that I have updated. Let me open the new tab, that is statistics. In this statistics, I implemented the API services layer as well using HTTP client. When we click on this statistics, the data will be fetched from the backend and displayed in the front-end UI using charts and all these things. Let me click on the statistics. As you can see here, I have enabled the debugger to load the statistics data. Let me debug from where the data is coming. You can see here. See here, we made a get statistics service method call so that the function is triggered, and as you can see here, I am making an HTTP API call to get the data from backend APIs, and you can see what is the response also which we are getting from. As you can see here, after making an external API call, we got the response, and we are handling that response to display in our required format. I am using graphs, charts, etc. to display the data in a good looking format. Finally, this is the statistics. When we click on it, it will show the overall summary of all our recipes, including a graph section as well. I used chart components to visualize recipes, counts, and the categories using a bar charts and pie charts. So these are the main features I have implemented: routing, reactive forms, form array, custom validations, material UI, debugging logs, API integrations, and the statistics dashboards with the charts. This is just a quick review and overview of my work that I have completed in this project.